guys did a release a couple months ago about greener packaging for the Hasbro products. Some of the fans are concerned that keep them in the package, that they're going to degrade. Was that a thought when you were, or is this going to affect Star Wars?
You know, I'll take that. Well, all of our products are designed to completely degrade within 12 months. No, I'm just kidding.
Are they edible?
No, we're designing, we are cognizant of that. So like, for instance, our blisters, they shouldn't turn yellow or degrade with time. So we keep those same standards. What the effort towards green is to try and just reduce the overall carbon footprint, skinny up our blisters, reduce the amount of excessive materials to pack them in, like reduce wire ties. That's been a big one because wire ties are pretty damaging.
And to use different plastics that degrade more easily but won't yellow.
Yeah, won't yellow. So they're designed to degrade in a landfill, not as collectors would store them in their house. So there shouldn't be any worries from any fans about the integrity for the long term.
And so what does the future hold for the Force FX line?
The Force FX lightsaber, the high-end lightsaber line? Yeah. Okay, do we have, do you know the new one? Do we have a new one coming next year or no?
No.
So pretty much we don't have any new models teed up, so we continue to kind of produce the same ones, so both the regular and the removable blades, and that's it. So we really don't have any plans for any more new models right now.
We are going to be celebrating the Ultimate FX lightsaber, which has a lot of the same great progressive light-up technology. We're releasing the Darth Maul Ultimate FX lightsaber this fall, which has 2 handles you can connect. You buy one at a time and then connect them for the double-bladed action. We're coming out with a Yoda Ultimate FX lightsaber, as well as a new Obi-Wan.
Jumping ship a little bit to Clone Wars. I mean, so when that line first came out, it got a really heavy push. A lot of fans feel like it's not getting the same push. Is that conscious, or what's going to be the future of that line?
We have full support behind the Clone Wars. We have a very strong line planned for 2013, where we can expect to see the same number or maybe even slightly larger number of figures. I think the seasons just keep getting better and better. The past few story arcs have been phenomenal. I can't wait for season 5. So we're going to see a lot of support for 3 3/4 inch next year with the Movie Heroes line, with all new Droid Factory, and then especially with Clone Wars, where we are going to have a bunch of great figures from season 5 coming out.
So another question that I had is, it seemed that the Savage Opress, the one that was the limited one, was the one that was, and the ones fans were clamoring about. Was this something you guys have heard before?
Is that the armored one?
The armored one,
the armored one.
Yes.
So it's coming back out in the 3-pack, right? Or is that a different form? Yeah, in the
Night Sister. Right.
Okay.
Yep, Armored Savage is making a reappearance in an exclusive, in the 3-pack exclusive.
Okay, what's going to be the 3-pack?
It's an Armored Savage. It's the Night Sister. And there's also the Darth Maul with the mechanical legs.
At Target in what, September, I think?
Later this year.
Yeah.
And with some of the fans have been concerned about the assortment varieties, that figures are coming back in there too much and they're clogging shelves, not making room for new products. Is that something, how do you guys deal with that?
Do you want to talk? I'll talk about that. So getting the assortment in the right mix is always a challenge to us. It's great if right out of the start in a new line, we call it right, then each wave should follow in succession. So this year we did struggle a little bit. EP1, kind of bottled us up a little bit, but we're trying to work through those. But one part of our strategy, by necessity, has to be chasing what we figure the A-level, what we call the A-level characters, and keeping those out because they are the best-selling characters, and they allow us to tool up all the fan favorites that people want to see. So that will be a continued strategy going forward, is to keep re-releasing those A-levels because they are the biggest sellers. But it's the trick is finding the right level of release of that, and we're learning all the time. How many Qui-Gons should we put out? How many Anakins should we put out? But that will still be, the way it is going forward. There's no other way around it. We can't do solid packs of just obscure characters. Financially, that it isn't a tenable model for us.
So we're not going to see a whole wave of just Canteen aliens?
Well, my dream would be that, but then I wouldn't have a very long career.
The tough thing is you can only do that once, and once they're out there, they're out there.
Exactly. So it's all about balance. You know, just like the Force, right? It's all balanced, and we've hit a good cadence in Star Wars over the last few years, where we can do fan favorites, bigger, what we call bigger volume figures, and balance that with the fan favorites. That's the model that works. It'll be the model that we'll continue following.
I have two questions about the expanded universe. Like, so I don't know if you guys know, the Darth Malgus figures have been really hard to find in America, but if you go on Amazon, it seems in England there's plenty of them, and they're just shipping like crazy to America. Were there solid cases that hit that went to England, or?
No, there was no special case. It just so happens that in some markets around the world, there is a little bit less of a bottle up at shelf, so they were able to flow more quickly to some of the retailers. In the U.S., they are starting to hit now, and they're out there, and we hope they get out there in much larger quantities over the next few weeks and months. So it really does depend on the market.
And I would say further, Jeff, it'll be one of those characters that we'll want to watch, and as fan demand continues to play out, it could be a candidate for successive re-release.
What about Jaina and Jason Solo?
Oh, well,
I think you'll have to stay tuned.
I like Brian's answer. Stay tuned.
I'd stay tuned.
So, it seems like when you answer questions about expanded universe characters, it's kind of a stay tuned, or we'll see how they sell. But it seems that those seem to be the very popular ones that keep their popularity on like a second level market, secondary market. Do you guys continue to plan expanded universe characters, or do you kind of? Well, we'll see.
You want to take that?
Yeah, we're always going to continue planning, releasing some of the expanded universe figures, especially the Old Republic. Quite a few figures are in the works.
The thing that I would say is we love to do the cool figures as much as you guys want them. So whenever we can and it makes sense to do an expanded universe figure that's a cool figure, we're going to do it.
I think it goes back to what Daryl said about balance. So there's definitely not even a short list. There's a medium list of the number of figures we'd like to do from the EU, and it's just a matter of getting those out, pacing them out at the right times and at the right quantities, as we also do with the larger, higher volume figures.
And I'll say one more thing on the EU. So I'm a huge fan of the EU, especially the Crimson Empire. That's for Randy right over there. But one thing, I personally led the charge to expand into the EU, especially in 2006, 7, 8. And what we found, we did find a point where too much of a good thing can be bad for the overall brand. And so, we had to pull back from that. But you've got a lot of passion here. We'll look for ways to get those high demand and even kind of niche favorites out there in time. But it just takes time. But, one thing I know is Star Wars fans are a patient lot. We have to be patient in what we want to do. We still haven't done every Cantina alien. There's still some to go.
And we did get the Night Sister out.
Yeah, and the Night Sister finally came out.
Jocasta?
It's a journey of years. We'll continue covering all the fan bases over time, but it just takes time.
So they signal that we're almost done. So I have one question: if out of any figure that you either have never been made or you would like to upgrade, what would each of your figures be that you would want to do if in a dream world?
You start. I'm gonna have to think.
Yeah, I got to think on this one.
I think my dream has been with Jocasta. I think I'm done. My bucket list.
I'm sorry, I don't dream of Jocasta.
No.
That's a tough one. I'm a big fan of Droid Factory, and so I've got a short list of a few droids that I want to see get in there. Maybe I won't go into them by name because I don't want to disappoint, but we'll get a chance to kind of work them in. Maybe some female droids?
Yeah, maybe some that are even sculpted.
Oh wait, droids aren't really female, but
I think she's a droid. Yeah, I think if I'm going to have to pick, I'm going to have to pick a vehicle, and I'm just going to go with the fan favorite, that big ugly thing that we're trying to figure out a way to do.
Which one?
What's that?
The barge.
Oh, the sail
Yeah,
barge. I'd like a Death. I think the Death Star. Death Star.
I think we'll do a barge before we'll do a Death
Yes,
Star.
probably.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
It's a
Thanks a
pleasure.
lot.
Thanks.
Thank you.